Welcome to Ayurveda and Spirituality with your host, Alakananda Ma, a renowned Ayurvedic expert and a graduate of a top London medical school. She is the principal of Alundi Ayurveda Gurukula, a unique apprenticeship-style school in Boulder, Colorado. She is a spiritual mother, teacher, flower essence maker, and storyteller. Join us as we uncover the timeless principles of Ayurveda, discover practical tips for enhancing vitality, and explore the deeper dimensions of spirituality that intertwine with the ancient science of life.
So welcome, everyone. Welcome to Satsang. Satsang is a meeting of hearts, a gathering of friends to inquire into the truth. Today we are going to be looking at the second chapter of the great, the amazing Taittirīrya Upanishad, which begins Sahana Vavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Saha Viryam Karavavahai, Tejasvina Vaditamastu Ma'a Vadvashavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May he protect us both. May he be pleased with us both. May we work together with vigor. May our study make us illumined. May there be no dislike between us. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. It says us both because this shloka is in the dual. So in Sanskrit, unlike Latin, I don't think we have it in Latin, we have a singular, a plural, and a dual. And then verse 1 begins, Om Brahma Vedapnoti Param Tad Esha Bhyukta Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Ekameva Chityam Brahma. Ekameva Chityam Brahma. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. The knower of Brahman reaches the supreme. In this, the following has been said. He who knows Brahman as the real, as knowledge, and as the infinite, as Satyam, the real or as truth, as Jnanam, as knowledge, as Anantam, as the infinite, placed in the secret place of the heart, or hidden in the secret place of the heart, and in the highest heaven, realizes all desires along with Brahman, the intelligent. The one who knows Brahman as truth, as knowledge, as the endless, hidden in the secret place, and in the highest heaven, wins all desires with Brahman, the wise one. From this self, verily, there arose Akash, space, from Akash, Vayu, the air, from Vayu, Agni, fire, from Agni, Up, water, from Up, Prithvi, the earth, from the earth, the herbs, the plants, from the plants, food, and from food, person. So this indeed is the person that consists of the essence of food. This indeed is head, this the right side, this the left side, this the body, this the lower part, the foundation. So this is a wonderful place in which the 5 elements are laid out. Remember, this is much older than the texts of Ayurveda, and we have talked together before about how many of the things that we now understand as fundamental principles of Ayurveda are laid out in the Taittirīrya Upanishad. Now it's going to start delving into or alluding to the 5 koshas, the 5 sheaths in which the self is manifested as the ego. So it's going to go into Annamaya kosha, the food sheath, Pranamaya kosha, the pranic sheath, Manomaya kosha, the instinctive and perceptual consciousness, Vijnanamaya kosha, intelligence, and Ananda, bliss. These 5 principles are found in the world of non-ego. And according to Sureshwar, who is the commentator on Shankaracharya, who we follow in our lineage, life, consciousness, and intelligence, so the Pranamaya kosha, Manomaya kosha, Anandamaya kosha, sorry, said that totally wrong. Pranamaya kosha, Manomaya kosha, Vijnanamaya kosha, they constitute the subtle body. Anandamaya kosha is the causal body, the Karana kosha, and of course, Annamaya kosha is the gross body or the physical body. So maybe we'll just go over that again. That was a wonderful way that Sureshwar laid out the koshas. Annamaya kosha, the food sheath, corresponding with the gross body, Sukshma Sharira, Pranamaya kosha, Manomaya kosha, Vijnanamaya kosha, corresponding with Sukshma Sharira, the subtle body, and Anandamaya kosha, the bliss sheath, corresponding with the Karana or the causal body. So now it's going to delve into this. So we're on the next verse, it says, whatever creatures depend on earth are born from food. By food they live, and into it they go in the end. Whatever creatures depend on earth are born from food. By food they live, and in the end, they themselves become food. As we were talking in class the other day, in every cell of your body is the lysosome, sorry, which contains the lysozymes. And every cell of your body is a little organelle, and when the membrane of that organelle ruptures when you die, your body will undergo autolysis. It'll start to eat itself and render itself food for other beings, be they plant beings, worms, and so on. So whatever creatures depend on the earth are born from food. By food they live, and into it they go in the end. Food is the eldest of all beings, and so it is called the healing herb of all. Beings are born from food, and when born, They grow by food. It is eaten and it eats beings. Hence, it is called food. Then, so we've got our food body. We're nourished in our mother's womb. Then we're nourished by food until in the end we become food for something else. But there's something different, says Taittirīrya Upanishad. From food are beings born. When born, they grow up by food. It is eaten and it eats things. Therefore, it is called food. But different from and within that which consists of the essence of food is the self which consists of life, of prana. By that, this is filled. This too is shaped like a person. According to that, one's personal form is this one with the form of a person, but it's a different form than the food body, which has the head, the right side, the left side, and the lower part. The pranamaya kosha, it says, consists of the in-breath is its head, the diffused breath is the right side, the out-breath, the left side, Akash, the body, and earth, the lower part, the foundation. So those names, Tasha Parosha Vidatam, Anavyam Purusha Vida Tasha, Prana Eva Shira. So where it says the in-breath, it's talking about Pranavayu, the division of the big prana. Vyana Dakshina Paksha, the right side is the Vyana Vayu. Apana Uttara Paksha, the Apana Vayu is the left side. Remember, this is before yoga and Ayurveda texts have come along and really codified the 5 pranas, and we've seen this before. I think in we've seen before the idea that prana is the in-breath and apana is the out-breath, but that's not how we see it later on when we get into Ayurveda or even the yoga texts. Then Akash is the body, earth, Prithvi is the lower part, the foundation. To that, there is also this verse. Along with breath, breathe gods, humans, and animals, along with prana. Pranam deva anu prananti, manashuya pashyavas. So the devas, the manas, the humans, and the animals. Pranohi bhutanam ayu. Prana is Bhutaram of all beings, Ayu, the life. That's our favorite word, Ayu, that comes in our word, Ayurveda. Prana is the Ayu of all beings. So it is called the life of all. Sarvayusham uchate. Sarv, Ayu, Sham, Uchate, of all things, Sarva, Ayu, the life, Sham, it is said, Ayusham, Sarvam, Ayusham, Sarvayusham, Uchate, it is the Ayu of all things. Prana is the ayu of all things. Sarvam evata ayur yanti. Uh, breath is the life of all beings. It is called the life of all, the ayu of all. Those who worship prana as Brahman will reach their full lifespan. Prana is the life of all beings, so it is called life of all. It is the bodily self of the previous one, or other translation. It is in the embodied soul of the physical sheath. This is something you really get in touch with when you're a doctor doing hospital medicine. Because whether someone's alive or whether someone's dead, they look the same. Head, arms, legs, if they've got all those body parts, two eyes, nose, ears, all of that. You have to come and certify that that body, which before was alive, is now dead. What happens when it dies? It's not breathing. The prana has gone out of it. So the prana is that which dwells within the physical body, and as it's like the soul of the body. It's life is the embodied prana is the embodied soul of the physical sheath. So we know that when we stop breathing, we die. But then we've got this idea of brain dead, that somehow if we stop thinking, we're dead. Different from and inside the self that is made of prana is the self that is made of mind, of manas. This one is filled by it. It too is shaped like a person. This, in its person shape, matches the person shape of the previous ones. But now we're going into the Vedas. The Yajur Veda is its head. The Rik Veda is its right side. The Samar Veda is its left side. The symbolic statement is itself. The hymns of the Atharva Veda and Angirasas are its root, its support. The Yajur Veda is its head, Rig Veda the right side, Samaveda the left side. Teaching is the body, the hymns of the Atharvans and the Angirasas, the lower part, the foundation. Listen to this verse. The one who knows the joy of Brahman, from which speech along with mind turns back without winning it, is never afraid. It is the bodily self of the previous one. Another way of translating that, whence words return, along with mind, not attaining it. He who knows that bliss of Brahman has no fear. This is the embodied soul of the former. So we have got a physical body. We've got the beginnings of the subtle body because we have the prana, we have the manas, but the mind and all its words and all its cleverness cannot attain Brahman. The one who knows the joy of Brahman, from which speech, along with mind, turns back without winning it, is never afraid. Different from, inside that sheath, the self that is made of mind, the manomaya kosha, is the self that is made of knowledge. This one is filled by it, and it too is shaped like a person. and has the same shape, but in this case, faith is its head. Ritu is its right side. Truth is its left side. Yoga is the self. Maha is its tail, its support. So, Tasha Shraddhaiva Shira. Shraddha, faith, is its head. Ritam, Dakshina Paksha. Ritam is we talk about Ritacharya, remember, meaning the seasonal routines, because the progression of the seasons is one aspect of Ritu, but Ritu is the natural law, the divine order, the way in which everything naturally proceeds. So Tasya Sradhavashira, Ritam Dakshina Paksha, Satyam Uttara Paksha. Truth is its left side. Yoga, Atma. Yoga is itself. Maha Pucham Pratishta. The Mahan, the Great One, is its foundation. Listen to this verse. Knowledge spreads out the sacrifice. It spreads out actions too. All the gods worship knowledge as Brahman, the eldest. If one knows knowledge as Brahman and is not neglectful of it, abandoning evils in the body, one attains all desires. But wait, have we got there yet? We've got to where we have the knowledge through which we can attain our desires. However, there is something beyond that. Different from and inside the self or the sheath that is made of knowledge. The Vijnanamaya kosha is a sheath that is made of ananda, of bliss or joy. Sometimes always also translated joy. This one is filled by it. It too is person shaped. Its person shape matches the person shape of the one before. Dearness is its head, happiness its right wing, delight its left wing, joy itself, Brahman its root, its support. So let me just try and Anvayam Purusha Vidya Tasha Priyam Eva Shira. So its head is Priya, something we just really love, the sense of loving or delighting or being really happy. Modo Dakshina Paksha. So pleasure is its head, delight the right side. Pramoda. So we have moda and pramoda, delight and great delight, as its left and right side. Ananda is its body. Paksha Ananda Atma Brahma Pucham Pratishta, and it is founded on Brahman. And to this too, there is a verse. One becomes not being if one knows Brahman as not being. If one knows that Brahman is, you know it as being. You become non-existent if you know Brahman as non-being. If you know that Brahman is, you exist. And this is the embodied soul of the former. So then the following question: does anyone who knows not when they leave this life go to the world beyond? Or is it that anyone who knows goes to the world beyond when he departs this life? If someone departs not knowing that world, the world beyond, does he go to it? If someone departs knowing that world, does he win it? The supreme soul desired. This is the primal urge, the whim that brings about everything. He desired, let me become many, let me be born. So what does he do? He does tapas. By tapas, he raises heat. When he raises heat, he creates everything, whatever there is, and he enters into it. When he has entered into it, he becomes the present and the beyond, the explained and the unexplained, the based and the unbased, the knowing and the unknowing, the truth and falsehood. As Satya, as truth, he became whatever there is, whatever we call truth. He is a supreme soul. He gets this whim. This is really explained a lot by Meher Baba in God Speaks, that everything comes out of this whim. Like, this is super boring. I'm going to become many. I'm going to get born. So then he does this austerity. He generates this heat, and he creates everything, and he enters into everything, and he actually becomes everything. That's the process of evolution. He enters into everything, he becomes everything. The actual and the beyond, the defined and the undefined, the founded and the non-founded, the intelligent and the non-intelligent, the true and the untrue. As the real, he became whatever there is. This is what we call the real. And leading on to this too, there is a verse that says, in the beginning, all this was not being. From not being, being was born. It made itself a self. So it is called well done. Asad va idam agra ashit. Tato vaisad ajayata. Taratmanam svayam akururuta. Tasmat tat sukrutam uchate. This whole world didn't exist. This is something we've all puzzled about from the dawn of time. Lately, we have the Big Bang Theory. Like, how do we get from nothing at all to something? Everyone's been trying to understand that. In the beginning, there was nothing at all. And yet, from this nothingness came the somethingness, and it made itself a soul, which is actually called the Sukrut, the well-made. What is the well-made? It is the essence of existence. And once you get this essence, you become blissful. For who could live? Who could breathe if there were not this bliss in space? This verily is that which bestows bliss. For truly, when one finds fearlessness as support in him, the invisible, the bodiless, the undefined, that which is without support, then he has reached fearlessness. But if you make the smallest distinction between yourself and the one, you will have fear. That is the fear of the knower who does not reflect. When you find the fearless, the support, that which is invisible, selfless, unexplained, unresting, in this Advaita, in this oneness, there is nothing to fear and we have no fear. But as soon as make the slightest distinction, however, and heaven and earth are set infinitely apart. As soon as we make that distinction, fear comes in. The fear of one who thinks that he is a knower. Radha Krishnan says, no one could live or breathe if there were not this bliss of existence as the very ether in which we dwell. So now there's an amazing inquiry into all the forms of bliss. Inquiry into the forms of bliss. What is 100 times the human bliss? That is one bliss of human fairies and of someone well versed in the Vedas who is not smitten with desire. So from the fear, when we make the distinction, and there's fear, from the fear wind blows, from the fear the sun rises, from this fear Agni and Indra and death as the fifth run on. This is the inquiry into joy. These two sections are really, really different than each other. From the fear of him, the wind blows. From the fear of him, the sun rises. From the fear of him, do Agni and Indra and death as the fifth run. So, imagine a youth, a good youth, well-read, prompt in action, steady in mind, strong in body, the whole earth full of wealth for him. This is what we think of human bliss. Right? This is everyone's like Instagram vision of bliss. We're young, we're well read, we're prompt in action, our mind, our body is strong, and we have everything we want in the whole world. That's what we call human bliss. But what is 100 times human bliss is the joy of the Gandharvas. That's what's been translated fairies here. The joy of the Gandharvas, and that is also the joy that we have when we no longer are craving all that health, wealth, and permanent youth. And we start to study the Vedas and we don't have the desire. Then we start to have the bliss of the Gandharvas. But there could be something more. 100 joys of the divine Gandharvas make one joy of the Pitrus, of the ancestors, in their long enduring world. And that is the bliss of someone who is well versed in the Vedas and is not smitten with desire. Is there more bliss? What is 100 times the bliss of the Pitrus, the ancestors, in their long enduring world? That's the bliss of the Devas, who are born as Devas. And that is the bliss of one who is well versed in the Vedas and not smitten with desire. And is there more bliss than the bliss of the gods? What is 100 times the bliss of the Devas who are born so by birth is the bliss of those who are gods by work, who go to the gods by work. And also of a man who is well versed, a person, sorry, who is well versed in the Vedas and not smitten with desire, and 100 times the bliss of the action gods. That's the bliss of the gods. So there are those bonus gods, action gods. Now the actual gods, um, and of a man who is well versed in the Vedas and not smitten with desire. And what's 100 times the bliss of the gods? Well, how about the boss god, Indra? Um, the 100 times the bliss of the gods is the bliss of Indra. And a person well versed in the Vedas and not smitten with desire. Could you go further than the bliss of the king of the gods? Yes, the bliss of Brihaspati. That is the bliss of a person well versed in the Vedas and free from desire. Could you go further than the bliss of Brihaspati? Yes. What is 100 times the bliss of Brihaspati is the bliss of Prajapati, the progenitor, great grandfather. And that is the bliss of someone well versed in the Vedas and not smitten with desire. He who is here in the person, he who is yonder in the sun, he is one. This is a very important verse. He who knows this, on departing from this world, reaches the self which consists of food, reaches the self which consists of prana, reaches the self which consists of mind, reaches the self which consists of understanding, reaches the self which consists of bliss. That radiant being in yonder sun. Remember, we saw that in Isha Upanishad. Thou thyself art that. Soham asmi, I am that. So that's coming back in here. He who is here in the person, he who is yonder in the sun, he is one. The one who knows the joy of Brahman, from which speech along with mind turns back without reaching it, is afraid of nothing. Once you reach that bliss of Brahman, once there's no separation, you no longer have the thought, have I done good? Have I done evil? Am I good? Am I bad? He who truly knows this saves himself for these thoughts. He truly saves himself from both these thoughts. The one who knows this. The enlightened one is not afflicted by anxiety. Did I do good? Am I good? That afflicts me all the time. Did I do good enough? Now, if once we really attain, we won't be worried about good or bad. Virtues, I take leave of you forevermore. Your service is too tiresome. Once I was your servant, in all things obedient to you, but now I am delivered from your thraldom. And that's from the Mirror of Simple Souls. So that there is no more good and bad. There is no more right and wrong for one who knows the joy of Brahman. That is how book 3 ends. And then it goes back to Sahana Vavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, etc. All right.
Thank you for tuning in to Ayurveda and Spirituality with Alakananda Ma. We hope today's exploration has ignited a spark of curiosity and insight within you. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to leave us a 5-star review and share it with a friend. For more enlightening discussions and practical wisdom on Ayurveda and spirituality, subscribe and join our Facebook group, Alundi Ayurveda. To allow us to continue sharing valuable content, consider donating to Alandi Ashram. The links will be in the show notes. Until next time, may you walk the path of Ayurveda with grace and embrace the light of spiritual wisdom in your journey.
Trayambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardanam urvarukamiva bandhanam mrityu